Of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Vice President Kamala Harris officially accepting the Democratic nomination for president tonight in Chicago. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Van Dyke.
And I'm Justin Betty. This was the final night of the Democratic National Convention and the first time really in front of a national stage where Vice President Harris really began to outline her vision for America if she's elected president.
Valley News Team's Ethan Kramer joins us now live from Chicago with more on what Harris had to say tonight. Ethan?
Yeah, hey, Justin, Stacey. Yeah, Vice President Kamala Harris accepted the nomination for president tonight. She was welcomed with many cheers and then went on thanking the people closest to her, going into depth also about her life growing up, telling many stories about her life growing up with her sister and her mom. She also talked about her long career as a prosecutor. She said, and quote, that no one should be made to fight alone and that they are in this together. She then went on saying that nobody in this party wants to go back to Trump and they are charting a new way forward. Take a listen to this.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward.
Yeah, then she went on after that talking about how she will protect abortion rights nationwide and saying that Trump will enact an anti-abortion law nationwide if he was elected. She also brought up how she will sign a ceasefire deal in the Middle East with Hamas and Israel. But from a recently released article by the New York Times, Harris released her $5 trillion economic plan. I know she didn't touch upon it, but it is important to note. So I did catch up with Fox News anchor Sean Hannity as he was leaving tonight and asked him just a brief question about that economic plan. He said this will be the largest tax increase, in quote, in American and world history. And so we're already hearing Republicans already going after Harris just moments after that speech was given tonight. So we are told, though, by our Grace